First of all, welcome to the channel and thank you for stopping by. When time permits, please consider subscribing. I'd greatly appreciate it. Welcome to the first of many fuel stops on my way to Barnwell, South Carolina. I think that's it. I'm on my way to meet Greg and Timmy. I was hoping to meet them early this morning, but I just couldn't get there today. So we're gonna meet them this evening and then ride on to the Palmetto ADV Rally tomorrow. This should be an absolute joy, as I haven't done it on this bike before. I've actually never ridden on the highway on this bike, but we'll see how it is. Welcome to I-40, heading towards Hendersonville, North Carolina. I've got a Speedo healer, so I am doing 62 miles an hour, and while there's more under her, I feel with my weight and the weight of all my bags and the heavy winds we're having today, this is probably 60 to 65 is where I'll keep it. I took a look at when I purchased the tubes. The tube in the front of the bike is over 4 years old, and the tube in the back of the bike is about 3.5 years old. And both of them are heavy-duty tubes. And when I looked at a picture of the one I put in the front, it says heavy-duty tube, not for road use. So I apparently put a dirt bike tube in there. I didn't even know they made tubes that weren't for road use. But here I am on the road, over 60 miles an hour. It's a cool day, so I'm hoping that my tubes don't overheat and explode. We shall see. Honestly, I'm not that worried about the trip other than the tubes. I have an unhealthy fear of getting flats. It sucks. And to make matters worse, I have one tube with me, limited tools, and no spoons. Nothing to actually change the tube. So if I have a problem, I'm gonna need to find another motorcyclist or get the bike somewhere that has the ability to change a motorcycle tube for me, which is dumb. It's really dumb. I don't recommend ever making a trip this long without the proper equipment. But again, a rolling slowdown here. It's been a little over 1.5 miles. There was just a sign saying in 1 mile, watch for slow traffic. If the traffic gets any slower, there'll be no traffic. It'll be a traffic stoppage. Ooh, hope my clutch is in good shape, because we're doing between 3 and 6 miles an hour. So even first gear is not not high enough. I actually need to feather the clutch just to keep moving. This is not a great way to start the day. Well, it's going 75 miles in and 208 miles to go. So it's gonna take me a little while to do this on the Honda, but I've gotta say, the Honda's doing really well. I ran into a rolling slowdown of some sort, but it only lasted 3 miles and then it was right out of it. The bike is very happy up till 70. I hit 73 passing a truck once, and I don't necessarily want to do that again, but it's doing well. The only real complaint so far is my gas mileage. I can normally go 100 miles before I'm at 1 bar, and I just hit 1 bar at 75 miles. So I really lost a lot of mileage, probably due to the weight and partially due to the fact that there's a lot of elevation changes. There's a lot of climbing, dropping, and then climbing again. That's really working the engine. So I'm definitely gonna try to keep it at 65 and see how things go. So far, no real complaints, 75 miles. The bike has been great. The temperature is slightly cool, but not that cold. I've got my winter gear on, I've got my winter gloves, so it's going fairly well. 150 miles in, a bit of a problem. At 115 miles, the bike stalled going uphill at 71 miles an hour. I may have been pushing it a bit much because when I just pulled over to check the bike out, it started right back up, but I did notice I had some coolant overflow. So I turned the bike off, gave it 15 minutes, and now I've made it another 35 miles. So far, nothing wrong. Unfortunately, when the bike stalled, it also took out my headlight. So now I'm riding without a headlight. Not a problem for visibility, but certainly a problem if any of the cops decide they want to write a ticket. It seems to be that I get about 75 miles. That's about it out of the tank. So I'll be stopping another 75 miles, which is actually pretty good. I normally stop every 150, but on the smaller bike with the less comfortable seat, 75 is actually pretty good.
All right, the farther away I get from that city, which I still don't know the name of, the better it gets. Now we're on a country highway. There's almost no traffic. The sun is shining. It's over 60 degrees. This is just fantastic. I hope this holds out. I am 25 miles away from Barnwell, where I'm staying tonight. And if it stays like this, it's going to be an awesome end to the ride. Here's hoping, because this is just pretty. Not quite beautiful, but after all that highway, after all that looking at concrete and construction, this is great. This is wonderful. I am happy to be riding through farm country, South Carolina for the end of my day.
Okay, 282 miles. It took me 6.5 hours with stops. Honestly, not terrible on a 286cc bike where I had to stop once and let it cool down, and where I had to stop more often to get fuel. If I had to say there's one terrible thing about traveling on the Honda, it would be that I need to get fuel very frequently. I mentioned earlier that I don't mind stopping every 75 miles to get fuel, but honestly, I was starting to get a little bit nervous with it having just one bar there. I wish there was a little more fuel in the tank so I wouldn't be getting anxiety about the range as I get to 75. I don't really think I would make it that much further with this kind of weight on it. Well, I am fortunately across the street from an AutoZone. So I'm going to unpack the bike, get things in there, get fuel for tomorrow, maybe put some fuel in my fuel bag, and check the AutoZone to see if I can get a bulb. It would be nice to have a headlight. All right, before it gets dark, I gotta take care of all of that. It actually has been a pretty good day, and tomorrow should be a great day. If you stuck around, I appreciate it, and take care.